This episode of AskJay is brought to you by Netflix. The chairman of the board, that's that guy with the cat that just kind of pets the cat, right? Coming right up. I'm Jay Adelson, and I'm the founder and chairman of Revision 3. I've started and built a number of companies. My goal in this show is to pass on some of the knowledge from my experiences to you, the budding entrepreneurs, and hopefully leave you with some words of wisdom. Today's question comes from Graham in California, who asks, what are the differences between a chairman and a CEO? It's a simple question. It's probably a short episode, but let me try and answer it for you, Graham. I've been both a chairman and a CEO, sometimes both at the same time. The CEO, I think we've explained in the past, people have asked, what does a CEO do? And understand that a CEO is absolutely accountable and responsible for the operation of the company. That means that all the management team, all of the people on a day-to-day basis need to be ultimately managed by the CEO. And if a company is successful or fails, that CEO is going to be to blame. So the buck stops there. When the investors are looking to someone to give their input to or to hear the status from, it's the CEO who goes on a monthly basis, runs the board meeting, and really explains to the board what is the status of the company. Now the chairman of the board, which is what we're talking about, the chairman is a different really set of responsibilities. Specifically, and it's a little loose, it's a title given to someone who is supposed to be the senior most board member. Often it's the CEO, so often companies that you're starting, if you're an entrepreneur, you will be both the chairman and the CEO. There does often need to be legally someone with that title, chairman of the board. However, outside of the sort of pomp and circumstance of it, there really isn't a lot of extra responsibilities or power that the chairman has. I mean, I think if you talk to a corporate attorney, they might tell you that the chairman sometimes has, a certain responsibilities legally. But to be honest, in terms of practical day-to-day matter, it's really not that different. Now you'll sometimes hear an investor or someone talk about this idea of an active chairman, and I've seen this a lot of times. I remember Mark Andreessen, who was the founder of Netscape, the founder of LoudCloud and Opsware, Ning, and now is a venture capitalist at Andreessen Horowitz. I'll never forget when LoudCloud started, and he founded that with Ben Horowitz. Ben Horowitz was the CEO and Mark was the chairman. And what Mark said to me at the time, he was like, look, Ben is running the company and I'm going to be as active as my time allows me to be. So I get all the advantages of being involved in the business if I want to be as an active chairman, or if I'm out doing other things, I can back off and pull the throttle back. It's a great way to proceed. However, it tends to be only given to people, like Mark. That ability is something the investors have to support. And so it's not exactly a common responsibility. Right now, I am chairman of the board of Revision 3. I am not the CEO. The CEO is Jim Louderback. And my responsibilities with Revision 3 outside of this show is being at the board meetings and being available to advise Jim and anyone else who he wants me to, whatever he needs for the board of directors. And I go to those board meetings and I hear Jim present to me on the status of the company. Anyway, in a minute, I'll give you some tips on should you bother being chairman of the board, or even CEO for that matter. But first I want to thank our sponsors. This episode of AskJay is brought to you by Netflix. Netflix streams TV shows and movies directly to your home, saving you time, money, and hassle. And as a Netflix Unlimited member, you can instantly watch TV episodes and movies streaming directly to your PC, Mac, or right to your TV with your Xbox 360, PS3, or Nintendo Wii. Watch as many movies as you want, anytime you want, and cancel anytime. I've been watching Breaking Bad with Netflix, and it's a great experience. For a limited time, get a free 30-day trial membership. Go to www.netflix.com/AskJay and sign up now. Be sure to use this URL so that they know we sent you. It's important to understand that the that the CEO runs the company. The board does not actually run the company. The board doesn't make day-to-day decisions, and a CEO can disagree with the board and execute the company as they see fit. Really, the reason why the board and the chairman can have some influence over this is because really the board of directors has one major power, and that is to fire the CEO. So one of the things you have to remember about sort of deciding the role that you want to play in this is that as a, and I know that this sounds crazy, but you can be fired from the company that you founded, even if you're the CEO. Now, if you're a chairman as well, that doesn't change that at all. So being the chairman of the board and the CEO at the same time doesn't give you special immunity from being fired by your board if you're failing at your job. Ultimately, it's the board's job to make that decision and make that call, which is why I think a lot of folks, before they take investment, legally they're chairman and CEO, they try and keep that control for as long as possible and push off when they ultimately have to build their board of directors because they want to avoid that conflict until they've had some success behind them. Thanks for joining us today. We love your questions at AskJay at revision3.com. There are a couple channels to take a look at. Love if you would like our Facebook channel, which is AskJay Adelson on Facebook, or put your comments there. Also, YouTube, the Ask Jay Adelson channel on YouTube allows you to post video responses. If we see a great one, we will put you on the air, no question. And then there's Twitter. Love the conversations that I'm seeing. They're really interesting. I love the criticism, love the feedback, love the discussion at Jay Adelson on Twitter. So again, thanks for joining us, and until next time.